Admiral, are you encouraged by progress or seeming progress in Israel on the judicial reforms? It seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu and his critics agree on some key things but not others. How do you assess the situation?
Well, we're glad that they're talking. The president was encouraged by the efforts by President Herzog to come up with some alternatives. We're certainly going to let Israeli leaders speak to the details of that. This is for them to work out. But one of the messages that President Biden had when he spoke to the Prime Minister yesterday was it's important for those efforts to be fully explored and for compromises to be made, because the beauty of democracy is in fact compromise, and the strength of both our democracies is that we believe in checks and balances, and also in a consensus among the populace that to make these changes, whatever changes they are, to make them sustainable, all that has to be factored in.
Good.
Thanks. Just a couple follow-ups here. You said that you haven't seen any confirmation that China has made a decision yet when it comes to providing aid. Why do you think China hasn't made this decision yet? Do you think they're waiting for this meeting today, or?
Difficult to know. It's hard, you know, I couldn't possibly get inside President Xi's decision-making to see, you know, what he's thinking. China has, as you know, not condemned the war, but they haven't provided lethal weapons. They haven't participated in sanctions the way we obviously would have preferred them to do. They have made their own sovereign decisions, and largely, at least tacitly, many of those decisions have come down on the side of Russia here, including buying into the Russian propaganda that this war is some sort of existential threat to Russia and it's the West or the U.S. and NATO pushing Russia, which, of course, is nonsense. I can't speak for President Xi and why he hasn't moved in this direction. I would just reiterate here from the podium what we've reiterated to Chinese officials privately, that we don't think it's in their best interest. It's not going to bring an end to this war any faster. And as I said earlier, it certainly appears inconsistent with what President Xi has said publicly about what he wants to see happen.
And on the phone call between President Biden and President Xi, what is the holdup here? You all seem interested in talking. Are the Chinese not interested?
No holdup at all. We want to make sure when we have this conversation, it's at the appropriate time and in the right context. President Xi's been kind of busy of late. I mean, he had the People's Congress, which just ended. Now he's in Moscow. So look, when it's the right time, and for both leaders, we'll get them on the phone. But just as importantly, to my first answer on this, we're still still interested in working towards getting Secretary Blinken back to Beijing. I mean, he was practically on the plane when we had to pull that visit back and postpone it. And as I said, we're having active discussions with the PRC right now about the potential visit by Secretary Yellen and one by Secretary Raimondo.
Okay.
Thanks, John.